Welcome to another episode of AI Spotlight Show. But this is a special AI Spotlight Show. We are currently at the Expo Hall at Google Cloud Next 2025. And today we'll be speaking to the CTO of Pythian. And he'll be telling us how Pythian support different businesses, enterprises, and other organizations across different industries, how they support them in terms of implementing and building AI solutions. Hi, Peter. Nice to have you on our
Thank
AI
you.
Spotlight Show.
I appreciate it.
Can you tell us about what Peter do, what time, when were they founded, and information?
Sure. Pythian is a 28-year data and AI services company. So born and raised in Ottawa, Ontario, but we've grown dramatically over that 28 years. We currently manage 25,000 databases in 2,000 environments for 400 customers, and then we can extend from managing data to creating insight with data to creating automation with data, which is AI.
Wow, that is amazing. Then you say you guys have been around for 28 years. How long have you guys been implementing machine learning solutions? Because I know a lot of organizations have been implementing machine learning, computer vision. Computer vision has been in existence even before now with
Right.
machine learning. Then how long have you guys been implementing machine learning solutions for your customers and clients?
Definitely a solid decade.
Okay.
Now, in fairness, in the earlier parts of those years, machine learning was really about the model, right? To say, how are you going to help make an analytical decision or a dashboard decision or a ETL decision based on the machine learning? Over time, you start to create inference of those models in things like analytics, dashboards, or in automation, machine learning automation. And that's sort of where we've seen the automation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before, I know the AI innovation expansion kicked off like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Before then, do you have a client who have been requesting for some customized AI solution, which your team couldn't, build a solution because we do not have the technology in place? How were you guys able to navigate to be able to implement that solution?
That's an excellent question. And you're right that, in fact, the reason why cloud AI tools have regressed back into the hype cycle of Gartner is because there was rapid change. They weren't as functional as they needed to be. They weren't as integrated as they need to be, which made it very difficult to implement a use case, as you can imagine. So what you happen to do before sort of an integrated portfolio like Vertex AI is use separate tools. Separate tool for data engineering, separate tool for machine learning engineering, separate tool for training, that's usually a desktop tool, separate tool for inferring based on the transaction, and then sometimes you couldn't do inferring sort of in a streaming, you had to do inferring in terms of batch. So you had multiple tools that weren't integrated, and it was up to the service provider to make it all sort of a smooth automation piece. But it's not true now. Now, you have single platforms, end-to-end implement use cases. Yeah.
Wow, that is amazing. Then what kind of AI vendors do most of your clients subscribe? Is it the Google Cloud platform? Is it AWS, like AWS SageMaker, AWS Bedrock? AWS also has some computer vision platform like AWS Recognition.
We're definitely Google Cloud centric, which is why we're at the Google Cloud Next, right? And we see Google's AI kind of a multifaceted, right? So on the productivity tool set, the workspace, Slides, Docs, Gmail, Meet, they've integrated Gemini for both sidecar and separate sort of prompt information creation. They also have AI Build, that's the Vertex AI suite, which has access to the model garden of both open source and sort of private model offerings. And then they have things like apps. So the customer engagement app, the document AI app, and even Agent Space, which is enterprise search. So they have a broad spectrum. The reason why Google sort of has that advantage is because they have 7 apps that have over 2 billion users, right? The YouTubes, the Gmails, they have such a deep sense of customer data that they can create the NLP algorithms, which are with, of course, DeepMind, to do all that research.
Wow, that is amazing.
Yeah.
Can you quickly tell our audience what kind of AI solutions you guys offer? I mean, are they machine learning based solution? Are they computer vision based solution?
Right.
Are they deep learning based solution? Are they predictive AI? I know you mentioned about predictive AI, talking
Right.
about the KPI, building more advanced data insight.
Right.
Yeah, then what kind of solutions do you guys build? And the second question would be, what industry do you guys cover? Is it majorly retail industry? Is it healthcare, banking and finance? Yeah.
Got it. Sure. In terms of the offerings that we provide, is sort of fivefold. So the first one, we have a field CTO practice, which is previous CTOs, CIOs, CDOs, and they're sort of executive advisory. So they'll come in and do a 1-day, 3-day workshop on what are the actual use cases, a little bit of education and activation, right? And in usually what we find is we'll get 400 interesting ideas, but only 5 that are practical, productionize them.
For a little bit.
Yeah.
Is that part of you guys helping your client to evaluate what we call AI readiness?
Yes. In fact, we have a Pythian AI readiness model,
Okay.
and we've actually partnered with Gigome to do an AI maturity model.
Okay.
So 10 dimensions on where they are in that now and where they want to be. So that's all the AI, we'll call it consulting, AI advisory. Our second batch is Gemini within Workspace. So enabling the entire organization as part of their collaboration suite to use and understand and learn prompting to solve those kind of productivity problems, which we generally refer to as people productivity. We have an AI build practice. Think of that as process productivity. So using Vertex AI to implement computer vision projects, multimodal or multi-model implementations, code conversion projects, using LLMs in a variety of different ways. And then we have embedded use of AI. So things like BigQuery, AlloyDB have features and functions that are AI enabling, like a vector database, right? Or NLP SQL. We help our customers configure and implement and use those services. And then finally, our newest launch, what happened this week, is Agent Space Quick Start.
Yeah, I was about to ask that.
Yeah, this is the implementation of enterprise search in the organization.
Yeah, because one of the, one of the most highest demand of AI service right now is around AI agents.
Yes.
Building AI agents embedded or integrated with retrieval augmented generation.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's people-centric agents.
Okay.
Think of that as what you'd enable an individual user to do prompt searching, or prompt collaboration, or prompt collection. And then there's process productivity or process agents, which are more like Vertex, behind the scenes, creating actions, integrating to third-party systems, reasoning among each other. That's kind of the agentic AI implementation.
Yeah. Oh, that is amazing. Then one quick question. How do you guys integrate responsible AI principles in the building of implementation of AI technology for your clients? You know, responsible AI principles, we have the principle of transparency,
Right.
the principle of explainability. Then how do you guys incorporate that in your design? Or before you accept a project from a client, do you ask them questions? Do you have an AI policy in place?
Right.
Yeah.
Good question. So it starts with that AI readiness I talked about,
Okay.
right? So how much do you want to spend? What's your policy and decision-making governance?
Okay.
And then how much time of your money do you want to spend on educating, on building features within the applications you build, or using the features of some of the software that you have, like Salesforce, Atlassian, and ServiceNow, because they all have different dimensions of risk. Right. So if I'm using Workspace Gemini, it already has access to my ACL. Right. It already knows what my groups can see. The authorization, authentication is already embedded in the product, versus having to build it with open source tools outside. So we start with that readiness to help make those decisions. And then when we do a build project, we like to have access to a model garden. Sometimes it's a private offering like a Gemini, or an open source offering like a Claude or a GPT. But then we tend to rarely use the open model. We want to bring those models in. We want to create a small language model or a micro language model specifically geared towards the use case that de-risks it in many ways, both in its hallucination and its sort of security and openness. Yeah.
Yeah, the reason why I ask this question is for industries that have to comply with HIPAA policies.
Right.
You know, they also the banking sector, you know, they have a lot of stringent measures and policies that they have to comply before they build any AI
Right.
application. Then, in a quick word, can you mention 5 industries that you guys have offered AI services to?
We Pythian specifically focuses many ways on, very big brands with a small IT as a percentage, right?
Okay.
So the obvious ones there are retail,
Okay.
CPG,
Okay.
manufacturing, healthcare, but on the provider side, and even technology organizations that weren't born in the cloud,
Okay.
right? They've been around 30 years, and they have traditional infrastructure that require automation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, my last question. Where do you see the future of AI? And now I'm talking in terms of the infusion of AI with quantum computing.
Right.
Where do you think that will take us to?
I think that's a long way away, so that's kind of the good news. I also think artificial general intelligence is probably a century away. I think the mathematics doesn't exist yet to bring those two worlds together. But in the meantime, what I'm thinking is AI will be infused. It'll be the default operating model. So when I go into a workspace, I'm going to have AI generate the email first before I even start typing. When I go into Docs, I can have it generate the strategy before I even start talking. Once my enterprise search will go away from Google Web into Google Agent Space. I think you're going to start at AI, not include AI. Yeah.
Thank you so much for this insightful information. We're excited
Thank you.
to have you on our AI Spotlight show. It's nice to have the city of Pythian on our AI Spotlight show. As you know, we are dedicated to expanding the world of AI in terms of educating individuals and organizations about the different kinds of AI services and AI solutions that we have out there. Thank you for joining our today episode of AI Spotlight.